Thank you, Mr. President. Just one more thank you before I say a quick word and be done. I also want to thank the two other people who've done more work, perhaps probably than Julie or I, on this bill, which are Damien and Will, my two staff members. I think never have I ever seen staff members in this building spend as much time with as much passion on one topic. And so for your co-authorship and tireless hours of work, we're greatly in debt to you both. So thank you so much. So I never much liked technology, nor was I very good at it. I hated putting together VCRs. I hated having to fix things that were broken in the house. It's one of my major failings as a father and a husband. So whenever there was something technologically related to fix, I tried to avoid it. Never got interested in writing code or learning how to make websites or things that other people learn how to do when they run campaigns or do other stuff. And then my dad got Alzheimer's. My dad was not able to travel as much, can't come to see my kids as much. Whenever I talk to him on the phone, he always asks about them. And then I found in the store one day when I was Christmas shopping these picture frames that you can buy, and they're digital frames, and I can put it on my dad's bedstand, and I can wake up in the morning and I can take a photo of my one-year-old daughter on my iPhone, and I can hit send, and when my dad wakes up and gets out of the bed in the morning, that photo will show up in his picture frame next to his bed. And I never understood how that worked, and I was never interested in how that worked until I realized that that could be a vehicle through which I made sure that my dad got to see his little granddaughter every morning when he got out of bed. And that is the way I think about this School Finance Act, which is what you see in this bill is 200 pages of code. In the same way, what you see in the technology that makes that transaction possible is code that I never understood. And somewhere someone wrote the code to make it possible for me on my phone to send a picture of my daughter to my dad's bedside. And so what some people see in this as 200 pages of policy, I see as 200 pages of a photo album. What I see in this this policy are the photos of Susan Birdsey, the rifle superintendent, and Dan Snowberger, the Durango superintendent, who we spent hours with talking about why the importance of floor funding would make such a significant difference to making sure that their kids didn't lose investment in the case of a massive overhaul. I see faces of Ken Happenstall and Parachute, who talked about the dramatic fluctuations in assessed valuation they see every year because of oil and gas, and how we need some mechanism for year-to-year improvements on that kind of structure. I see in here the faces of Pat Sanchez from Commerce City, who said what he would want more than anything is not to lower the bar for all of his kids getting to proficiency by graduation, but to give them more time to do it. And the chance to have a fund that would help support opportunities like extended school years and school days would make all the difference. I see faces of Mark Hatchell and Glenn Gustafson and Walt Cooper, all from El Paso County, who helped us work on the full-day kindergarten proposal, to say what they're hearing from their residents more and more is what they want is the chance for a kid to get a full-day kindergarten education. I see the face of Scott Murphy, the superintendent in Littleton, who walked me through the fact that of the English language learners they have in their district, almost 50% of them speak neither English nor Spanish. That in Littleton alone, they have 43 different languages spoken in one school district of about 4,000 kids. And what they're trying to do is find a way to meet the needs of all of those kids in an authentic way every day, given the extent of those challenges. I see the face of John Knapp from Rocky Ford, who sat me down and talked about how they would love to support more funding for education in their local district. The problem is when they in their district vote for a $2.5 million override in Rocky Ford, that generates a total of $30,000 a year. Other districts in this same state with the same house worth $200,000 will vote an override of $2.5 million, and that will generate $3 million a year. That's why you'll see in those pictures ideas like the Mill Levy Equalization Fund, which make it possible for residents who want to make investment in places like Rocky Ford to be able to do it. So I think that, I see the face of Rennell Lang, the superintendent in Greeley, who is seeing every year a more and more high-needs population with higher and higher percentage of poverty and is trying to find a way to meet those kids' need and is committed to do it, but needs our help to make it happen. I see the picture of Zach Comsey, who is the principal of Atlas Prep Charter School in Colorado Springs. I went to visit, spent a half a day there. I see the faces of the 300 kids that are still on wait lists there to get in, and his desire to have the resources he needs to expand and grow and open a new site and hire new teachers and get those kids off a wait list into a place that will get them to college. And that's why you see in here things like the Charter School Equity Fund. I see the faces of the business leaders across this state, the folks from the Colorado Competitive Council and from the Colorado Forum and from Colorado Succeeds, from the Metro Chamber, who have all said they see in this actually the most ambitious reform package ever to go on a ballot in this state or any other. I see in those faces the story of what it would take to build a comprehensive new code that makes sure every day the faces of 850,000 kids not just get transferred to people who love them, but get passed along from the hands of a parent to the arms of a school that has the resources, the structure, the people, the programs, to be able to make sure that every one of those kids actually gets a chance to achieve whatever dream they walked in the door with. That is why this matters so much. That is why it's taken so long. That's why we've had such thorough debate on this in the Senate, because it is a once-in-a-generation decision, and it is one that this generation is waiting patiently but urgently for us to offer them a chance to fix. So I would ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 213.